calls me every night.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Cyndi Williams here, the Wanderlust CEO. I am so excited because today we're going to be talking about how to 10x your travel business in 2022. Subject near and dear to my heart. I love growth. I love travel. I love all the things. So if you want to know how to achieve massive growth in 2022, the strategies you absolutely should be putting together, and if you want to look at the math, I know that doesn't sound fun, but I promise we're going to have fun because I hate math too, but I love business math because it can teach you how to make more money. But if that sounds like fun, that's what we're covering today. Hang out on the show. All right, guys, I have all the holiday things. I feel like if I do like this, it'll look like the lights are blinking on my studio. Red alert! We're having so much fun today. Okay, so the little preview always sets me up. We're so behind in decorating over at the agency, but you guys, we've been so busy. We've been growing. We've had lots of things going on. You guys know, but point is, we have a little holiday festive cheer, and my gift to you is I'm going to teach you today how you can 10x your travel business in 2022. So if you're new to the channel, let me just say welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you are new, you might not know who I am. My name is Cyndi Williams, and I started in the travel industry over 25 years ago, almost 30 actually now. I'm on year 28. Oh my gosh, it blows my mind. But I own and operate my own award-winning travel agency, and I also am the CEO of Careers on Vacation, which helps people just like you learn how to launch, grow, and supersize your travel businesses, which is probably what I'm best known for and probably why you're watching this video today. But if you haven't already, and if you're new and you just came upon the channel, I want to tell you, don't forget to go get our free masterclass, the 5 Shifts to a 6-Figure Travel Business and Beyond. If you're thinking about getting into the industry and you're like, what? I can be a travel agent. I can work in travel and have my own business. Yeah, you totally can, but make sure it's for you first. So go to that masterclass and check out all that information, free class. That's a great place to start if you're new, and type a little "I'm new" in comments so I can welcome you to our community. But guys, let's jump right into the content of the day, which is maximizing your business next year, right? 2022 is coming up around the corner. Super exciting time to be getting into the industry for sure. So I want to start by asking you a question actually. If you could fix one thing in your business, just one thing, like if you're already in travel or maybe you're getting started, but if you knew that one thing was fixed, what would that one thing be? And the reason I want you to think about that is I'm actually going to run through some models here in a second. I'm going to hop over and share my screen. I'm going to walk you through some models of how just improving your close rate a little bit, just improving your lead flow a little bit, how that can have a massive impact on your business. And that's where I want our starting place to be, is what is that thing for you, right? So, and I think it's just a good time, right? Like we're end of the year. I'm doing this with all of my businesses, just really reflecting on how we did for the year. And I'm also focusing on what do I want to accomplish in my businesses and how do I want to show up in the world, serve my community, and how do we also want to grow next year? So this is a time, I actually take some time off in the month of December every year. And it's not because I'm not working. It's just I'm doing a different kind of work, which it's this reflection work, and it's looking at all of our numbers, and it's really getting clear before I go into the new year. I'm a big believer, like you don't plan January 1st, you plan before. So I think it's a good time for you guys to think about that too. You should be thinking about, how did I do this year? What is that? What are the areas that we need to fix? And where I want to start with this process and what I look at first thing, because I do a lot of consults, right? Like I work with corporations, I work with travel agency owners, and then in our mastermind, we work with a lot of people who are getting started as travel agents or are experienced agents just trying to grow. And the numbers in your business, what I call the KPIs, your key performance indicators, tell the real story. So a lot of times I'll have someone come on a call and they'll say, oh, I've done this many years and I do this and I book this kind of travel, and they're the best travel agent in the world. Like they're super skilled. They know their stuff. They know how to do all the things. But they're like, my business is struggling. And they'll say, I feel like this is happening, or I feel like I struggle here. And I will literally say, tell me these 3 numbers. And this tells the real picture of the health of your business and also helps you understand the levers that you can push and pull in your business to grow or to backslide, or that you need to always be paying attention to. So these are numbers I don't look at just once a year. I do an annual roll up to look at our entire year and kind of how we're closing the year. But I look at these numbers every single day. Like I start my day with how are we on these things? And on a monthly basis, I do a really kind of a deep dive to understand where we had successes, where we had failures, what we need to adjust and calibrate and move forward into the next month. Managing my business by numbers makes all of the difference because feelings don't equate to fixing things, if that makes sense, especially if you have a feeling and the numbers don't match what you're feeling. The numbers tell the real story. Okay, so I want to talk through some basic KPIs. I have a lot of KPIs I look at, but I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I want to start with 3 today. The first thing I want you to pay attention to in your business is, what is your lead flow? How many people are contacting your business to ask you to do a quote, to ask you to book something, to ask you a question about a trip, right? That's your leads. They're either calling on the phone, or they're coming through internet channels, or coming through your automation, or whatever channels you have set up. But how many leads every single month are coming through your door? You need to know that number. And then on an annual basis, how many do you have a year? So this is a simple calculation. Literally take I hope you're tracking this. If you're not tracking your data, this is job 1. Like, you have to track your data. Every lead goes in the database. Every lead should be tracked, and you should be keeping account of these in a like a CRM, a customer relationship management system, or some place where you can see finite number of how many people came to your business this month, right? So let's just pick a number like 10. Let's say 10 people contacted you this month. So 10 times 12 months gives you your lead flow for the year, right? So if you have 10 leads a month, that's 120 leads a year. If you have 100 leads a month, then 100 times 12 is 1,200 leads a year, right? So regardless of what your leads are, look at that for yourself. And if you have that data, look at it for yourself this month and see where you're at. I'm going to show you a chart here in a second. I suggest you set up one that's pretty similar. The second one is your conversion percentage, or your close rate is also called close rate. Conversion percentage, close rate. I'm probably going to call it both because that's the way my brain works. But how, of those leads that are coming in, of those 120 a year or 1,200 a year, wherever you are on the map, how many of them are you actually getting to the finish line? How many are giving you a credit card and booking the trip? So I'm going to give you the calculation for this. Here is how you calculate your conversion. You take your total number of leads, right? And you can do this for the month. You can do it for the year, however you want to look at it. Take the total number of the leads and divide it by your total number of sales. That's going to equal your conversion rate. So if you had 10 leads and you close 3, then you have 30%, right? Wait, did I do that calculation right? Hang on, let me check my math here because I think it has to be reversed. 3 divided by 10. Yep, it does. I did that backwards. So you take the total number of sales divided by the total number of leads. So you take, I had 3 sales divided by the 10 leads, and that will give you 30%. Make sense? So that's how you come up with what you're closing at, right? And 30% is pretty average. You know, great agents do higher than that. Ones that are just starting out might do lower than that. It's okay. It's just, you need to know what your number is. All right. All right. Third one I want you to really pay attention to is your average cost per trip. So you might say, well, how the heck do I figure that out? It's actually easier than you think. So as long as you have your total sales number for the year, like let's say you sold $400,000 in travel this year. Okay. And all you have to do is divide it by the total number of trips that you booked. And you have to track this stuff in order to be able to calculate it. So if you're not tracking yet, that is kind of job 1. That's like Careers on Vacation. We teach you guys this stuff in our mastermind program, but this is one of those baseline things that you want to understand. If you're not already tracking, you got to start there in the new year and start tracking on a monthly basis. But if you have this data, great, you can do this. So how you calculate that is you take your total sales and divide it by your number of trips. So if you had $400,000 in sales and you sold 100 trips, that's an average cost per trip of $4,000 per trip. Okay. Now you might say, well, why do I need to care about that? Like, some people book a little trip, some people pick a big one. this is a manageable number. That's why you need to care about it, because things that you do in your business, like upgrades, cross sells, fees, things that you can add to increase your average cost per trip, that's how you can see if year to year you are doing better on that or you're doing worse. So this, we're going to talk about the modeling here in a second, but I want you to understand that is a manageable number based on how you run your business, things that you implement, different things that you can do. That makes a big, big difference. So I want to show you guys how you can make a difference with this. So let me share my screen here real quick, and I'm going to walk you guys through just like a little simple thing that I came up with. And again, I'm gonna laugh and say, don't worry, I know it's math, but I know I don't like business math either, but we're gonna do all the things with you guys here. So let me share my screen here. There we go. Okay, so let me show you guys what we're peeking at here. So I just put together like the simplest of like K performance indicator scenarios, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys with data right now. But these, again, the three numbers that I asked you to kind of understand in your business are your close rate, and also your lead flow and your cost per sale. So down here, you'll see KPIs, and I'm going to walk you through a scenario here in a second, but you'll see I have these. And then I also put one in here for profit, because I want to, as I model out different scenarios for you, I just wanted a baseline to start from. So in this sample that I put together, once you have this raw data, that's how you can do the calculations that I just shared. So you can go back in the video and get the calculations, or I'll just click on here. Can I put them on there for you guys? Do you have them on Yeah, I have them on here. If you're an Excel fan, you can kind of see how I put those together. But basically, your average leads per year, let's say you just put in your total leads, okay? So look at your data and say, I have 510 leads, or whatever leads you have. And then you look at your number of sales. Okay, so how I came up with this conversion rate is all I did, calculation, is I divided this number here, I divided my sales by the total number of leads, and that gives me a 20% close rate. Make sense? And then for lead flow, that's easy. I just literally took this total number and divided it by 12 months, piece of cake. And then to get my cost per vacation, I took my total sales for the year, which in this scenario is 400,000, and I divided it by the number of sales. We had 100 sales. That gives me a cost of $4,000. Now, in these scenarios, you're going to say, well, how does that equal 48,000 in profit? Your profit line is going to be different based on the commission levels you have negotiated with your suppliers, or the commission levels that your agency has with each supplier. We use a 12% because we're pretty much across the board with that at our agency. It can be lower and it can be higher. It just depends. But just for the sake of making it an easy number, we went ahead and we're using 12 across the board in all of the modeling I'm going to give you. So let's say this is your starting point. Let's say you made $48,000 this year from your travel business, right? Not so bad, especially if you're doing it as a hobby business. Maybe it's a second income for your household. Great. But do I have some room for improvement? We're talking about trying to 10x your business, right? So I wanted to walk you through a very modest modeling perspective and show you what happens if I increase my leads a little bit. What happens if I close a few more sales? Maybe I increase my 20% to 30%, right? What happens if my cost per sale, instead of doing $4,000 a trip, maybe I can increase it to $4,600. Maybe I can do some more high-end trips. Maybe I can charge fees up front. Maybe I can do some upgrades and cross-sells so I can get this cost per sale a little bit higher. How will that impact my bottom line, my take-home pay, okay? So in this scenario here, don't get overwhelmed by all the things. In fact, let me do this. I'm going to hide this so it doesn't scare you guys from the get-go here. We'll hide those a second. We'll look at these one at a time. So in our sample, this is exactly what you were just looking at, okay, in the earlier sheet, in the spreadsheet before this. So in this scenario, all I've done, I've kept every single thing the same, except I said, what would happen if you got 20% more leads, right? What happens if you do a better job marketing, you get a few more leads every single month? What would that look like? Just 20%, just a tiny amount. Nothing. We're not talking anything crazy here, right? I'm not even saying 10x your leads. I'm saying literally just increase your leads 20%. How can that impact? Well, on an annualized basis, that's going to put you at 612 leads for the year. Great, right? Now, if you're still selling at 20%, which is kind of a crappy close, right? But we're going to use it in this scenario. I'm going to show you how it will help you if you increase your close rate here in a second. But again, I just wanted to mess with one metric at a time so you're seeing how it makes a difference. So just by getting 20% more leads, I'm closing the same amount, I'm selling the same kinds of vacations, that will give me more than a $10,000 raise. Just doing a better job of your marketing this year, you guys. That's it. Getting more leads, period. So that's the first scenario. Let me unhide this next one here. Unhide. And then I'm going to hide this because, again, I don't want to overwhelm you. I'm going to do these one at a time. All right. So now let's say we get 20% more leads. But now what if I also, while I'm getting more leads and I'm up-leveling my marketing game, what happens if I, instead of closing rates at 20%, I start closing at 30%? It's not that big of a jump. Instead of closing 2 out of 10 people, you're closing 3 out of 10 people. Honestly, you should be able to get that to 40% once you really know what you're doing as a travel agent. But again, I'm using modest modeling here. So I'm going to use the same 612 that we brought over. I'm going to assume you have a little bit more action going on in your marketing, but now I'm going to close at 30%. So now instead of having 100 sales a year, I'm going to have 183 sales a year. My total sales are now going to equate $734,000. I'm still selling the same $4,000 middle of the road trips, right? Nothing fancy. These are not river cruises. These are basic trips you'd be selling at $4,000 per price point. And my lead flow is the same. I'm same as in the last scenario. Okay. So now look at that, from 48 to 88, $30,000 raise. How many of you guys out there I know you're going to get a $30,000 raise in your business next year? No. But if you buckle down and you focus on these 2 metrics, look how your experience can be totally different. Like, what would you do differently? Would you get a new car? Would you take more trips? Would you, I don't know what you're going to do. Like, that's up to you. The point is, this is the power of numbers, and understanding managing your business by numbers is so important. All right, let's throw one more really easy one on here now. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to sell some better stuff next year. I'm going to maybe sell to some better clients. Maybe I'm going to start adding some fees. Maybe I'm going to start being more aggressive with cross sells and upsells and balancing that with client experience. And I'm going to increase, actually, this is supposed to be 4,600. Let me make, because I know there's going to be someone out there on YouTube that checks my math. So make sure. So I'm going to say we'd make just $600 more. So again, you sell a few river cruises, that could impact your numbers for the whole year, right? So again, I just left the criteria the same. I'm bringing over our 612. So we're bringing in 20% more leads. We're closing a little tiny bit better, 1 more person out of 10, right? But now we're going to increase what we're selling just by $600. And now look at what your profit is, right? And again, this is based on 12% commission. So there might be depending on if you are with an agency that has, a percentage of that, that's pretty normal in our industry. Or if you're an independent agent, this would literally be your take home, or you're an agency owner, that would be your take home. But look at, just by making those minor modifications, guys, you're moving from $48,000 a year to over 6 figures a year. And let me tell you, this is not that hard to do if you know what you're doing. Like, if you know how to market a little bit better, if you know how to close a little bit better, and if you know how to put in best practices to do, to increase your cost per vacation, this is pretty standard stuff. This is actually not rocket science. And that's why, instead of giving you like a crazy model where, let me switch back to my camera here, where you're like, oh, I'm going to get 100 more leads per month. Like, that's not realistic coming right out of the gate sometimes. But I wanted to give you, like, that is really possible to go from 48,000 to 100 in 1 year. In fact, you can do way more than that, dependent on your ambition level, dependent on if you know what you're doing and all the things, good stuff. But I wanted you to get clear. If I have you walk away with a couple things from today's session, it would be understand how important it is to track your numbers and how to manage your business by numbers. But also understand, if you have a gap in one of those areas, right? Like, if you have a gap in one of these areas that you can fix, remember I asked you earlier and I said, if you could fix one thing in your business, what would you fix, right? So if you just fix this, that's the difference. If you just fix this, that's the difference. And of course, I'm building this on each one. We're kind of stair-stepping it. But the point is, if you need help with marketing, look at the difference that you're going to make year over year because you're going to know how to do it better, or you need help with sales year over year. So you cannot tell me you can't afford my program. You don't have to take it. I love you either way. But the point is, like, for nothing compared to these prices, right? But if you fix just one of these things, it's going to pay for itself like 10 times over. So that brings me to one, do these things, do the assessment, make sure you are working on those areas. But if you are stuck in one of those areas and you're not sure what to do, guys, reach out to us at Careers on Vacation. That's what we do all year long. We have launched hundreds of travel brands. We've helped a ton of experienced agency owners as well as independent agents help get past that plateau that so many of you are feeling with those close rates or with that marketing. How do I get more people, Cyndi? This is the long form training stuff that we train in our 12-week mastermind to really help you understand how to move the needle in those places. And you guys know we have like 150, 160 case studies. Like, the stuff just works because it is a proven system. We not only use it in our agency, but in the hundreds of agencies that we support. So we are confident in helping you move those numbers, and that's what it's all about, right? So if you are, you know what you need to do, then great. That's awesome. I hope this video helped you so much today. If it did, please give us a big like, thumbs up, and don't forget to ring that notification bell on YouTube. And I want to tell you guys, listen, just reach out to us. If you are interested in Careers on Vacation, you can go to careersonvacation.com/ready now. If you do need that little extra help, or what I'm saying is really resonating with you, we'd love to have a chat with you, just understand where you are in your business. And if it's a match to support you, then we'll talk to you about how to apply for the Careers on Vacation program and get you started. And either way, guys, listen, I want to wish you a happy holiday. I know we have, I think, one more session happening, but I'm just having the most fun with you guys with all of the holiday things happening. If you're not already following us over on Instagram, I'm going to be away for a couple weeks at the end of the year, just enjoying the holidays with my family. Like, this was it wasn't a hard year. It was a great year growth-wise. We just grew like crazy, and we're so excited about that. But I need some downtime. But if you want to catch the behind the scenes of what I'm doing with my family and maybe where we're traveling, I don't know. We'll see. You can follow us over on Instagram. We love to see you over there too. So guys, wherever you are in your journey, I wish you so much love, so much abundance. I wish you the world, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
She calling me. Like the rainbow. She's calling me. Like the rainbow.
Hey guys, Cyndi Williams here. If you like that last video, make sure you check out all of the other content on our channel. And if you want to follow along and travel with me around the world and see how I run my amazing travel brands and get some great tips on how to grow your own, make sure you check out that other content. I'm going to drop a couple videos here. Click those links. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
She's calling me.